Hello and welcome to Vitality Women Leading Audaciously. Our audacious leader today is Kristin Marquet of Marquet Media, and I'm really excited about what she's doing with FemFounder. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
FemFounder is really what drew me to Kristin, I have to be honest. And I'm like so interested because I'm a serial entrepreneur and I love to learn more about women and their journey. And you are gathering them, it sounds like. So Kristin, welcome to the show. Please tell us about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. Just so you have a little bit of background on me, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years. Before starting my first business, I, interestingly enough, had worked for one of the big four management consulting firms. Financial crisis hit. Everybody in the Northeast in my office lost their jobs. So at that point, I said, all right, what am I going to do? Am I going to get a job or start a business? And while I was working in consulting, I had a few freelance clients. So I was able to bridge the gap of being fully unemployed to starting an agency. And then within 6 months, I scaled up 30 clients, full-time team, very stressful, working around the clock. And I just learned that I just didn't want to work that much and burn out. And the amount of time I was working really impacted my personal relationships, friends, family, husband. So I decided it's time to scale back and really niche down and only focus on serving a couple of different industries. And that's how FemFounder came about. FemFounder actually came about from people that wanted to work with my PR firm, but they couldn't hire us. They wanted a resource that was PR-based digital marketing, where they can go to get all the tips that they need to kind of start a business and thrive and do all that good stuff. And, I think the first month we had like five readers. Now we have millions of readers a month. And the core focus and the core purpose of the brand is now really working to elevate minority-based entrepreneurial voices. So, and they could be in any industry, any size. But we really just want to help women get their voice out there and to be heard. And it's fully monetized, it takes care of itself in terms of money, content production. But, it's really this platform that literally had 5 readers has really taken on a life of its own and become a full-fledged company that's fully monetized and, accounts for half my brand's revenue. And, really loving it because I'm able to interview all these amazing women like yourself, which you're going to be part of, but also be able to help educate any entrepreneur, whether they're trying to get to that first 50,000, that first 100,000, that 500,000, first million, and not lose sight of what the ultimate mission is, which is, like I said, to really elevate the voices of underrepresented segments of the entrepreneurship ecosphere.
Oh, that's really exciting. I love the word ecosphere, by the way.
Well, it is. It really is.
Yeah. You were going to say?
I was going to turn it back over to you, actually.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's really exciting. And what a sense of satisfaction. Actually, I don't know what it was like for you to see that grow in such a short period of time, because you make these decisions intuitively, like I got to scale back and I have to refocus. And it's a bit of a risk, actually. And you did that and you weren't sure it was going to work out. And so what was it like for you in that in-between stage? And then, of course, when you saw that it was working?
It was terrifying. My husband and I just bought a house, had this massive mortgage. I mean, we had all these expenses that we didn't have when we were living in an apartment in Manhattan.
Right.
And it was terrifying, because I stepped out of the full-time role of being the business development person for the PR business, right? And doing some client execution work to focus on building FemFounder. But 2 years in, I was able to start monetizing fast and big.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I could have done for my career.
Yeah. And I really want to highlight that experience you had, because I know a lot of women who are listening are in a pivot right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they are having to really look at their lives hard. And they just had a year where their kids might not have been in school, and they realize they didn't like their job, and they're taking massive risks to change their careers, to change the structure of their life. And terrifying, I think, is the most accurate word, and what many people who are listening are experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's, you don't, when you are pivoting and you're embarking upon a completely new business model that may align with your primary business, be adjacent to it. Um, it's kind of like walking a tightrope. You don't have any security. And at the end of the day, it's up to you to make the brand succeed.
The brand
And
succeed, your family succeed, your health succeed, your
mhm,
marriage succeed.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, what?
yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. But with a plan and being smart with resources and leveraging all the technology that's out there today, it's very easy to gather content, to put together all these different strategies, to schedule your social media. You just have to be willing to see it through, and you have to be patient. That's the other
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
because none of these things happen overnight.
See it through, be patient, but also have trust. Because like during that patience period, if you're like worrying and scrambling and stressed out and driving yourself into the ground, that's also not going to help.
Mhm.
So being patient, yes, is huge, but there's so much inside of that, you know, that roller coaster of
Mhm.
patience, and also knowing when to cut the cord. I mean, you probably had certain deliverables that you were like, okay, not deliverables, but limits. Like, okay, if this isn't working by this date, I'm going to have to pivot, for example.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You have to be willing to walk away, if you're not seeing something change,
Traction.
or you're not able to hit that first benchmark. And trust me, I mean, the first couple of years, 2017, 2018, I was kind of like, well, what am I doing? You know, I want to actually start making some money.
Yeah.
And, I didn't really start making money in a lot of it until 2019.
Nice.
But,
Here you
but
are.
it's patience, it's persistence, and
Yeah.
it's persevering through the hard times.
Yeah. And I think also what I'm present to in FemFounder is really that also you're creating people who can support each other.
Yeah, creating a community, and really having people collaborate, not so much compete. Um,
It's new for females in the
yeah.
workplace. And
hmm
that is, I think, where we're headed actually, for our future.
Agreed. Fully.
Yeah. So beautiful. I love it. Okay. So you're a wife, you've got these businesses, you're making it happen. How do you maintain it for yourself in your day to day?
Last year, 2021 was a great year. I mean, I was very busy, had the best financial year ever, team intact,
Right.
was only working about 30 hours a week. Come January of this year, from January up until about a week ago, I had such exponential growth. And the growth was coming from all these outlets through my PR and creative agency, um, that I started to lose sight of the core customer I wanted to serve. So for that 8 weeks, I was working 80 hours a week. And I said, I don't want to do this. So what I did, I sat down, very thoughtful about it, very deliberate about it. I decided to cut all the contracts that weren't serving me, serving my team, and serving our purpose. Anybody that was toxic, anybody that was abusive, got rid of them. And this past week has been like a breath of fresh air. It's been fantastic. I'm sleeping till 7:30,
Oh my
8. I get to work out for 2 hours in the morning. I get to go for runs in the afternoon with my husband. It's fantastic. So I'm
so
actually able to sit here and do this with you. If this was 2 weeks ago, it wouldn't have been happening. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, those of you who can't see Kristin, she is like very young looking. I mean, seriously, she could be in her 20s. I have a feeling she's not because of all the things accomplished.
Thank you.
I mean, she's just like glowing. She's just natural. She has this beautiful, like rosy glow to her.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So just so those of you who are listening, it's cutting toxic ties, relationships, contracts that are no longer serving you, whether that's in your personal life, your internal emotional life, or your business life. I too did the same thing in December. And it's been tumultuous. I'm not going to lie. It's been, a challenge, but I can see now momentum is building and like the blue sky is not even close to the limit.
Right. And sometimes it's really difficult to see the forest through the trees, but sometimes you just have to take a step back and say, you know what? All this money isn't worth my health. It's not worth my mental health. It's not worth any of this. And I remember talking to my father a couple of weeks ago when I was in the thick of like this crazy, stressful, very tense time. And he said to me, he's like, Kristin, you're 42 years old. You shouldn't be working like the way that you are. He's like, you need to just get rid of everybody that isn't serving your purpose. And that's what I did.
What a great dad.
No, thanks. Trust me, we've had our, just like any father-daughter relationship, but yeah, I'm very fortunate.
That's awesome. Well done. So you were probably really tired. Sounds like kind of close to burnout. What is your go-to when you're feeling tired? Some people it's just sleep, right? So you don't have to have a fancy answer. I'm just curious, like when you're feeling really low, what is your go-to?
Running, endurance running, doing 10, 15 miles. That's really what gets me in the right frame of mind. In the past, I would go out with my friends, my husband, we'd go out and drink a bunch of wine and do all this. And, I just got really sick of being tired and hungover. And I just said, you know what, working out, running is the way that I'm able to decompress, de-stress, and focus.
I love that. Decompress, de-stress, and focus.
Thanks.
That is what you have to do when you're feeling tired. And it looks different for everybody. I just like a side note here. I really try to get into running. I had a phase when I was running every day, at least once a day.
Okay.
I lived in Switzerland at the time, and they had those like I think they're called Finnish tracks with mulch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really, really into it. And I've kind of gotten away from it. I live in a very mountainous area and there are a lot of ultra marathoners here training. And it always just seems, I don't know, maybe you just get to a level. Do you think that running up and down steep hills is healthy, is good, or does it not matter? You just run?
I think that it's good for endurance, but the other thing is you have to be careful about your knees and your hips.
That's what I was thinking.
We're not 15 years old anymore.
Right.
You can't be running, on hard pavement. I think maybe if you're a seasoned condition runner, doing long distances up and down hills, maybe twice a week is good, but I wouldn't recommend much more than that. Otherwise you're not going to have any, your knees are going to go.
Yeah. I mean, they're fire roads, right? So they're not, it's gravel, but still you slip and it's, tricky. And then, did you read that book, Born to Run?
I actually started it, but I haven't finished it.
No, it's a great story. I found it to be very entertaining, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I also learned a lot. And so they were talking a lot about barefoot running. And I tried that for a long time. Like I got like these really funny shoes. Everyone made fun of me because it looked like I was wearing socks, and I was like, yeah, but I had to have leather soles because I want to get grounded. Like I really got into this, I was geeking out on it. But now I'm kind of like, well, actually, I think I might need some more support. So what shoe do you use? I'm curious.
I use New Balance. I
Okay.
I go to the New Balance store and have the mold of my foot taken just because I do distance running. So, but if I was only going to run like a mile or two a day, I'd pick any shoe off the rack.
Oh, so you go the full cost because shoes can really make or break you, come to find out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm going to commit to running, which I think is a very efficient, very natural thing for the human body to do, that much I'm convinced of. And then, of course, I've had all these other arguments and excuses. And I know you ladies listening can relate. Oh, I've got too much jiggle to run. And, oh, my hair,
Please.
whatever. It's like excuses, right? And I do hike. I hike every day. But it just,
Same principle.
but doesn't give you the same endorphin high. Let's just face it. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just, so I also do other stuff. Like I do a lot of yoga and I do like this resistance training. Even my friends were visiting from the East Coast today. And I led them in a morning practice, and it was totally like it changed their day. I know it did. They were like, and it was like a mixture between cardio and resistance training and yoga, which was really fun.
Oh yeah.
But there's something about being in nature.
Yeah.
For a few hours.
Mm-hmm. Being outside, getting the fresh air, being on the beach. I mean, I live in a very residential neighborhood now with no cars and very nice homes. So it's very nice to run around here. You don't have to run around people. When I lived in Manhattan, running was like a nightmare because I mean, I'd be literally pushing people out of my way, get out of my way, like I'm trying to, yeah, and running in the park sucks. Yeah, like I mean, it looks so romanticized, in the movies, on television. There's something so majestic and beautiful about it, but when you actually do it, it sucks.
I love your candor.
With how smelly it is and how many people are around. It's
especially
just,
in summer. Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, New York is not a place to be in the summer.
Oh
not Manhattan anyway.
So funny. Well, I just want to encourage our listeners to give themselves permission to do whatever it is they need to do when they're feeling tired and run down. But I love how you said, focus, and you used 3 words. It was focus, it was just discharge,
it was decompress, de-stress, and focus.
Yeah. It's really key. And I think that's the key to vitality. And a lot of people think it's the fancy facial or the spa day. Those are great. Definitely do those. But it's this deeper work of knowing, hey, I got to set some boundaries. I'm not going to work this hard, which you're a brilliant example of. I'm going to restructure my business. And then again, this year, you did it again. And it's like layers and layers and layers. It's like constant opportunity to up level so that you can have your vitality and shine. Kristin, like you're shining.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's, it's 4 p.m. here. My circadian rhythms usually shut down by 3, because I'm usually up earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, by 3 o'clock it's nap time.
That's honest.
Of course, I mean, one thing about me is, a no BS type of person.
I love that. Thank you.
No filter.
So FemFounders, so would you like the women entrepreneurs and women who are listening to come to tell us?
Yeah. Come to FemFounder. Come check out the platform. We'd love to elevate your voice, showcase your story. You can reach out to us. The email and the form is on the website. Just let us know that you came through this podcast, and we'll get your story up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Any last words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah, just don't take yourself too seriously. And also take time to laugh and know it's okay to pivot, because being a female business owner, you're always evolving, you're always changing. And nothing is ever going to work out as you plan it. So you need to have contingency plans in place.
I'm so glad I asked that question, because those are words that we all need to hear right now.
Well, thank you so much for having me.